Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. This is Season 2, Episode 3 of Build of the Week, a not quite weekly show that we put together to highlight various awesome character builds that our community have created in part of Exile. At the end of the last episode, I mentioned that we wanted to demonstrate a character that trivializes in-game content. The build I'm showing today achieves that. It's a level 88 Crit-Dagger Ranger by Garatha in the Invasion League. Against single targets, the build uses multi-strike double strike with increased melee damage and critical strike multiplier. Due to the insane crit damage, this melts single target enemies quickly. Its multiple target skill of choice is Spectral Throw, augmented with lesser multiple projectiles, increased crit damage, physical projectile attack damage, faster attacks, and power charge on critical strike. A neat trick is that this character can swap its lesser multiple projectile support gem for a projectile speed gem in order to turn its Spectral Throw into a single target long distance attack. The bulk of this character's damage comes from critical strikes. With no power charges up, it has almost a 60% chance to crit, which quickly generates the power charges that push it up to 80%. Because of the character's high physical damage, the Hatred aura adds substantial additional cold damage. When crits occur, this is further multiplied to over 6 times its base damage, which generally shatters the enemy. Corpses are never a problem, unless of course your party members need them. For movement, the character uses Whirling Blades. While the skill isn't typically used as a movement skill, it's effective at covering distance quickly when combined with considerable attack speed bonuses and a faster attacks gem. Although it's probably just as fast to use a Quicksilver Flask, Whirling Blades has the advantage of getting you out of your current location quickly if there's something about to hit you. To help in situations where the character is sustaining heavy damage, the Enduring Cry and Immortal Call combo has been combined with cast on damage taken and increased duration. This provides a few precious seconds of safety to get out of whatever situation triggered it. The character's items are good, but due to the age of the Invasion League are nowhere near perfect. They generally have leech, high life, and resistance values. Bino's Kitchen Knife is the weapon being used, which provides reasonable damage, crit chance and multiplier, chaos resistance, and some synergy with Adder's Touch. A really good rare dagger would be preferable, but I'm not surprised to see this solid unique being used until a better rare is found. This build uses the Lightning Coil body armor, which converts 40% of the physical damage you take into lightning damage, and reduces your lightning resist considerably. With the extremely high value of lightning resistance the character has elsewhere, especially combined with the Topaz Flask and the Purity of Lightning aura, the end result is that incoming physical damage is dramatically reduced. It's remarkably similar to just running a large amount of regular armor, though in a far more clever way. In addition to the Topaz and Ruby flasks to deal with resistance emergencies, this Surgeon's Jade Flask of Reflexes is extremely useful. Because of the number of critical strikes this build achieves, it's constantly refilling. The additional evasion bonus from the Of Reflexes mod grants a lot of extra evasion when it's needed. The 2 life flasks are instant use ones that dispel shocked and bleeding respectively. This build gets shocked a lot due to the lightning coil. The shield of choice is a corrupted Crest of Perandus. Even though it is a very low level shield, it's useful and provides good life, lightning resistance, life leech, and an amazing block chance. Because of the accessibility of the item, it's quite viable to find or trade for many of them and corrupt them to get the spell block implicit mod that this one has. The character's passive skill tree layout is very interesting. As a ranger, it travels both down and up the right side of the tree, taking life, evasion, attack speed, one-handed melee damage, critical strike chance and multiplier, and physical damage with daggers. There are several interesting notable passive skills chosen that are worth commenting on. Heart of the Oak provides regeneration, life, and stun avoidance. In addition to more damage, Ballistic Mastery provides a survivability boost because increased projectile speed means increased range. Mind Drinker's 2% mana leech is often enough leech to sustain attacks in a crit build like this. Finally, Adder's Touch has a huge critical strike multiplier, in addition to the poison on crit, which goes very well with the Bino's Kitchen Knife unique that this character uses. 3 keystone passives were chosen for this build. Acrobatics isn't just useful for dodging damage, but also against damage reflection. Phase Acrobatics is very useful as a defense against spells, and Onda's Guile takes advantage of the character's decent evasion rating to protect itself further against projectiles, including its own. The character ends up with really high resistances, dodge and spell dodge, block and spell block, and a large amount of evasion as its defenses. The Lightning Coil stacks on top to reduce any physical damage that is actually taken. The biggest threat to this build is often itself. Encountering monsters with a damage reflection aura inside a damage reflection map while you're cursed with vulnerability can be quite dangerous. The character has a lot of block, evasion and dodge in order to avoid reflected damage affecting it. The Onda's Guile keystone, which doubles your chance to evade projectiles, is really useful at doubling the chance that your own projectiles don't hurt you when their damage is reflected. This build results in a very agile character that moves fast, attacks fast, has high damage output, decent survivability, and is really fun to play. It uses some creative tricks and can handle any content in Path of Exile if it is played by a skilled player. I was very impressed by this character considering that the Evasion League is less than 2 months old. Next week's Build of the Week will demonstrate a build that's appropriate for the upcoming Ambush/Invasion 2-week race that I just announced by accident.